Police apprehend instigator of deadly fights in Port Moresby. Relatives of a woman killed by husband want justice. And 6 cabinet vice ministers sworn in today.
This is National EMTV News with Dennis Orere.
Hello and welcome. This is Tuesday's news. The man police believe is behind the Hela-Goilala fights in Port Moresby was apprehended today in the Central Province following a covert operation by police. The suspect was alleged to have stabbed a security guard to death at Gorobe settlement, which triggered a bloody retaliation from Hela in parts of Port Moresby last week.
The male suspect, Polo Peto, was shot and arrested by members of the police dog unit and Fox Unit 102 at around midday today along the Goilala Junction along the Trans Highway. According to police, it didn't come easy as he resisted arrest and retaliated with a swinging knife at the police before he was shot and arrested. Police allege he is the man behind the killing at Gorobe settlement, which triggered the bloody retaliation. Police have also arrested one other whom they believe was his accomplice. Badili police say the lead suspect is wanted for a string of murders. Meanwhile, an investigation into the payback killing by 2 suspects at Koki in Port Moresby is still ongoing, with police following up on the matter which was captured on CCTV. They say arrests will be made soon. Bradley Valenaki, National EMTV News.
Relatives of a woman who was killed by her husband in Southern Highlands Province are calling for justice to be served. They say this is not the first time PNG women have become victims and died from the hands of their husbands. They want the suspect, who is her husband, to face the full force of the law.
In an interview with EMTV News this morning, relatives of the deceased raised concerns on how their daughter Imelda Tiamanda was brutally killed. They claimed she was killed out of jealousy by her husband at their home in Mendi, Southern Highlands Province. The husband and 2 other accomplices then wrapped the body in a blue canvas and transported out of Southern Highlands Province. It was believed that they were to dump her remains along the highway when they were caught by police at a checkpoint in Western Highlands Province.
Ololi mem, emet driver, drive, Dr. Simon Temo, emet drive on them, Tublaman Sinala side, Ololi Molna. Then Dr. Temo, like given 100,000 law, almost 200,000 to the policeman, that's all to the policeman in a leg of money. He can all bring him reinforcement come now, Ololi mem, when the cardinal Karim come long, again Mogna, body or put in a Mogna, Tublaman or police and lock him to blah.
The husband and suspect, Dr. Simon Temo, was a candidate who contested the 2017 elections, and they have been married for over 10 years. According to her father, there have been issues of violence, and his daughter has been living in fear, and the suspects must face the full force of the law.
Just Miriam Salokim Jalausna, Marian is a approximate house even gate to Emnasagot. Names are talking security plan, putting Wasla Mary.
Now, applying this applicable law when necessary law and applicable law, this crime where man blogani committing must fully apply.
The relatives also appeal to their tribesmen in Southern Highlands Province to refrain from taking the law into their own hands, as the suspects are now in police custody. They say compensation payment as a way of settling the issue will not be accepted.
Milagi Mosem, beginning employee, Mushat money killing them, Maskism full penalty law.
You may look law by interpreting this law something. You may not going to law equal and yet.
Western Highlands Provincial Police Commander Jacob Kamiak has confirmed that the suspects are now in police custody in Western Highlands Province, and they will be transferred to Southern Highlands Province, where formal charges will be laid. Rayon Lakingu, National EMTV News.
The National Security Council was convened to address national security matters in the country. Chairman of the National Security Council, Prime Minister James Marape, said the NSC took note of the COVID-19 impact, associated challenges and government responses to finalize a government approach. He further stressed that the Security Council has directed the disciplinary security forces and intelligence community to take a unified approach and address the prevalence and increase in criminal activities in the country. The Prime Minister said approaches to address lawlessness are through existing community policing mechanisms, community mediation, deployment of mobile squads, and PNG Defence Force call-out deployment. He said despite all these responses, all security protocols currently in place do not take into account the risks and threats that will come with the 2022 national general elections. Bogia district in Madang has seen a decline in the number of serious offences committed in the last 7 months. Since November of last year, Bogia recorded only 2 murder cases. The drop in major incidents is due to the combined efforts from police, the Law and Order Committee, and community leaders in curbing illegal activities.
Bogia district has 7 regular officers with the support of 11 men working as volunteers to assist in daily police operation. This station usually sees a lot of complaints, but for the past 7 months, the number of incidents recorded dropped to an average of 2 complaints a day.
Last month of March, 2 murder case reported. April, 0 balance, no got murder, meaning our policemen are doing it because of the support given by the MP. All policemen work. Now every time we go attend him complaint, all not just go pick him suspect na come up, no. All pick him suspect, some look suspect. Usat NCO go pass, he must work him this law awareness.
Law and Order Chairman Paul Adani says they have been assisting police with civil cases, especially land disputes. Adani says most incidents were related to land disputes. The number of serious offences has dropped due to the continuous awareness by police and Law and Order Committee members.
Because from Bogia, that's the Bogia district manager. Or village Scott chairman, or senior officer of land villages, or we come to form of some district team, and we can call it the district panel. District panel, we can recite on Bogia, we can deal with more civil cases. Our civil cases we don't deal and we can deal with no policeman deal with one policeman or deal with a criminal case, we can deal with a civil case, we can look at some law and order with enhancement.
Law and Order is also one of the priorities for Bogia DDA. Bogia MP Robert Nagui says the district has supported local police to carry out its operation, but the district does not have enough policemen and women on the ground.
Outside, the play will find him out was time already bagarap. He got heavy inside local bus place or long ramu, hard lo police. Also now all man only looking also you know got police presence. So all man only have mas long continue long walking trouble now walking heavy. Now me play open him up or some feed the road me play. Car remove, people remove, policeman too he go he come. Now all man Mary only start to look survey also. He got police start, he got Law and Order start. So people only start now long sense him head long, sense him attitude long, they start long. Respect him all yet. Now start long respecting police. Now me play, but you look him long OB no report long me play you go long. PPC long madam. Crime rate long Bogia you walk long go down. You know finish, but you walk long go down.
The district cannot continue to engage outside police on the ground due to the cost involved. Thus, it has also worked with the village courts and councillors in dealing with illegal activities on the ground. Bogia district is also assisting local police build its own armory and has bought 3 new guns with ammunition supply.
But Nipla is still short yet. Nipla by talk yet one time police commissioner. Long giving Nipla sample more gun. Long inapi more get a policeman long Nipla here long district.
Martha Luis, National EMTV News, Madang.
Locals in remote Maramuni in Enga say the construction of the new road will bring change to communities. They say the road will see more services reach the people. The Maramuni Road is a 16-kilometer stretch and is one of the key projects of the Wabek District Development Authority.
With the construction of the 16-kilometer road progressing, locals in Maramuni have high hopes to see more services. A young individual says people must now welcome this change and evolve in life. He thanked the Wabek District Development Authority.
Gostos la work, mi blaga lugu mosam plan di services a obla kami selong marumini now. There are resources and more staff where time road them come and bring them and gold na whatever resources staff is part of that.
Our lake crew led by Scott White was up in the air with local authorities to capture some of the rugged terrains this new road cuts through. According to the Wabek MP, cutbacks and diversion of funding was prioritized to build this road. He says this new road will save time and money.
For example, in Maramuni, it takes them about a week to actually walk to and fro from Maramuni. Now they can just jump on a PMV vehicle, come here, and then just takes them a couple of hours to get to the villages. Now they're realizing that, when government starts doing work in terms of the basic services, it can have the impact, a big impact in the lives of the people.
The Maramuni area share borders with parts of East Sepik. With gold prospects in the area, the road is the beginning to see more services. But a local community leader says fighting in the area must stop.
One service where me come lo mi blogeda. Time lino me make him road come down lo place. Na service me bienim na come. So any fight problem stop long Maramuni LLG, please. You blast stop morgeda na you me welcome him government and come inside na welcome him company and come inside longan.
Jack Power Jr. National EMTV News.
Prime Minister James Marape paid a friendly visit to a local biscuit and snack producer in Port Moresby today. The Paradise Foods team walked PM Marape through their production lines and showed him their newest produce. The Prime Minister was encouraged by the local producer and is encouraging others to produce world-class products onshore. Gertrude Gabi reports.
This is the first time a Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea was given a tour of the Paradise Foods Limited factory here in Port Moresby after it was opened by the late Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. The team from Paradise Foods Limited, led by the CEO, James Rice, took PM Marape and delegates through the production lines, starting with the biscuit production line, snack foods production line, ice cream production line, and the Queen Emma chocolate factory. During the tour, they showed the Prime Minister their latest product, the ice cream cones, which they started producing 6 months ago.
And so the practice here and the thinking behind this business is absolutely good. It's consistent and congruent with the way government's thinking. Whatever we can produce in country, produce and supply market in country, as well as placing ourselves in a position to export for markets that we have in our region.
We found 5 things that we imported that we now buy locally, and we have a list of more items that we're going to bring, that we're going to onshore, and it's all part of that same initiative of if it's good for the country, it's good for the companies, it's good for everybody.
Paradise Foods Limited is a local company that was established in 1933 in the country. Apart from producing goods locally for the people, the company also aims to create more job opportunities for the people. Since last year, about 175 new jobs were created. And with the production of ice cream cones 6 months ago, they have created an additional 25 new jobs.
Today it brings me great satisfaction, not only to witness that they're producing, but to find an employment environment that is sensitive to Papua New Guinean culture and the way we want our citizens to be employed and respected and given due care.
Encouraged by the level of products that the company was able to produce, he challenged local manufacturers in PNG to produce goods that can be used or consumed the world over.
It's good to see that the government, through the Prime Minister, recognize some of the work that some of the companies are doing in our country.
The Prime Minister says the government will be there to assist the company in any way they can. Gertrude Gabi, National EMTV News.
Among stories after the break, Divine Word missionaries celebrate 125 years in the country and Morobe farewells one of PNG's founding fathers. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. This year marks the 125 years of existence in PNG by the Divine Word Missionaries, or SVD missionaries from the Catholic Church. They provide mostly religious and educational services to PNG. SVD Provincial Superior PNG, Father Joseph Orathinkal, says SVD is focusing in empowering more nationals to join the seminary.
125 years on, the Divine Word Missionaries reflects on a meaningful direction to take. The two important agendas are to play the leading role to promote local occasions as a way of formation of the young seminarians at Bomana in Port Moresby. SVD Provincial Superior PNG, Father Joseph Orathinkal, says education is another agenda that will still remain one of their top priorities.
Continue to be engaged in different activities in the country. We are also deeply concerned with the social issues that happens in the country. Some of our confreres are engaged with social issues, especially the youth. Education, of course, remains as one of the priorities of the province. As many people know, Divine Word is our baby that is grown up today to a university.
The Society of the Divine Word, or Societas Verbi Divini in Latin, arrived on the shores of PNG on August 13, 1896 at Alexisafen in Madang. They shared the gospel of Jesus Christ, as well as teaching pastoral education, media and communication, and involved themselves in social welfare. The SVD missionaries are proud to be one of the first in PNG to establish a press company now known as One Talk newspaper, currently owned by Word Publishing. Divine Word University in Madang is also their brainchild, which offers a wide range of full-time and part-time programs in different faculties.
Already in 1899, they were able to even set up a school and a press. They were the first ones in the mainland New Guinea. So it is good that as we celebrate 125 years now, we reflect on the beginnings, and now
there are currently 91 Papua New Guineans who are either a SVD brother or father working in PNG and abroad. Two priests who have just returned from Brazil and Jamaica had this to say.
I think the program is really good. We learn a lot of things about the SVD history, SVD lifestyle of work and prayer and all.
I was not the only one of PNG working in Brazil, but also we have Father Eximangi, and both of us came back to PNG.
There are overwhelming interest by young boys and men to join the SVD seminary or pastoral training. Those who show interest must possess grade 12 and above qualification, as they will not only undergo pastoral training but improve their English and grammar skills, upgrading the level of education, and be willing to get a posting overseas. Vasanatha Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
The late Sir Jerry Nalau's last public appearance in Morobe was at a house sore event for his longtime friend and schoolmate, the late Sir Michael Somare, organized by the residents of Lae. Through his many stories of independence, Sir Jerry spoke of how his Lutheran faith had played a strategic role during the early stages of self-governance and later independence. Sir Jerry Nalau passed on last Wednesday at his daughter's home in Lae.
One of the last public appearances of the late Sir Jerry Nalau was on the afternoon of the 10th of March at a house cry event organized by the Lae residents for the late Sir Michael Somare. Sir Jerry was a guest at the event to share his experience that he and the late Sir Michael had had that sparked the movement of independence after self-governance in the 1960s.
People are sitting inside now. I've been now open banners.
open punish, police. One play come inside, meeting, for example, meeting one talk, somebody team from me, meet play look on the cat. Somebody ask him, hey, you sir, talk me policeman, you make money here. Me play some order and they come. You go now talking post, well, rubbish order, like some YouTube lego. Me play Papua New Guinea law 1960 year. You know 59 or 49. Now you play me getting about them, me play. STT long, you must run away long, punish, why I and this asking.
Said Jerry used to serve under the Somare administration during the movement for self-governance and later independence. He was one of those leaders in Moresby who supported the cause and campaign for an independent and united Papua New Guinea.
Only using Mipla also feelers, Mipla work underneath long to talk long early self-government and independent. Time Mipla go aremos and all money like Mipla Panama talk go back along Moresby. All Banya talk of some kind of some. Now Mipla Panim out by Mipla one cooling this or something he go down.
He was known as Sir Michael's most trusted officer. The late Sir Jerry testified to this, saying it mostly had to do with his Lutheran faith.
Now me sablo bukan now salamilo go. Long Sibu. Tatok pandin somare to Jerry. He speaking along Highland, Bolonimi. Tola Igalong Island, Bolonimi. Papua go Bolonimi. You prince up and you go. On back see you. No, Lutheran anutu ya. Oh, leader man you want up anutu na. Only looking for some Lutheran church come past them. Na straight him over something on Adam talk God na meeting na only see na every go down.
Among the many stories, said Jerry spoke highly of how the Lutheran Church and the early missionaries had played a strategic role in the independence story.
Some church do only go. You know, Lutheran, that's all. That's all. Only workman belong, all other church go, a more white man. Now, belong you mean Lutheran, you go, oh, what I happen to Buna, Papa, long, Pinsa Pelican, Simpukawa, Yumiya, all current rocks like go walk about triple moon, you want to have not triple moon come back.
It was also during that time that Sir Jerry reunited with his long-lost brother and a member of the Bully Beef Club, Nanong Ahi. In his recollections of Sir Jerry, Nanong said he was like a big brother.
Mr. Big Brother Jerry, or some Mr. Big Brother Jerry, you read him this a soccer team or Ocean team, I didn't go play. Bali go down the ground, we said by picking him, Mr. Player.
Sir Jerry Nallow's death comes 2 months after his close friend, the late Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. According to family members, the late Sir Jerry had still been mourning the loss of the Grand Chief. Sir Jerry Nallau passed on at his daughter's home on the 5th of May this year. Charlene Airy, National EMTV News, Lay.
UPNG Southern Highlands students have taken the initiative to host a number of fundraisers in a hope of reaching the target of 2.5 million kina. This will assist them to purchase a CT scan machine for Mendi General Hospital. President of the association, Felix David, said for years, patients of Mendi Hospital have been transferred to other provinces because there was no CT scan machine. The vital equipment scans the entire body of a sick patient, both bone and tissue, and pinpoints the exact location of tumor, clots and other deadly infections. Kane Construction General Manager Willie Duss presented a 10,000 kina check to the students' leaders at the Taurama campus recently. The students are encouraged by the theme, "Ask not what Southern Highlands can do for you, but what you can do for Southern Highlands." The National Court has granted NCDC's application for an interim injunction against Internal Revenue Commissioner General Sam Coim following IRC's decision to splitting the GST and remitting directly to the sub-national governments. Kilawani reports.
NCD Governor Powis Pakop has welcomed a decision by the National Court. Justice Anis has ruled in favor of NCDC in granting its application for an interim injunction against IRC.
We welcome this decision of the National Court. It is an interim decision. It is pending the final determination of the proceeding before the National Court. But it is a decision that we welcome because it maintains the status quo. And the status quo, I want to say from the outset, it is fair and just in the circumstance. Fair on the city and fair on the other subnational government, especially Central Province and Motukoida Assembly.
Governor Pakop adding this proceeding is unnecessary as relevant parties as defendants are only revisiting existing Supreme Court decisions.
It is unnecessary because the court has already determined all these issues. And it's no ordinary court. It is the highest court of the land. The Supreme Court in 2014 has already made findings of facts, findings of law, and made the decision that addresses and solves this issue.
Commissioner General of IRC in a statement noted that IRC welcomes the interim restraining order, further adding that IRC acted to slice the GST because NCDC ceased to paying to the subnational governments. Central Province Governor Robert Agarobe also welcomed the decision in a statement online, noting, however, unpaid dues of 10 million kina in the last 10 months by NCDC. Governor Pakop has given his word to the subnational governments during the media statement today to faithfully pay remittance going forward.
We are obliged to honor commitment to Central Province, and we will honor it, and to Motukoida, we will honor it. This assure the Chairman and Governor Agarobe.
Pakop noting only one contention.
In respect of Gulf Provincial Government, we are not going to make any payment to them. Because in the first place, to put them there and include them in the equation in the city, that's a preposterous suggestion or inclusion. There's no logic in it. It doesn't make sense. And if we allow it to stand, it will set a bad precedent for the entire country.
The court appreciated arguments by both NCDC and the IRC, including the other defendants, hence requiring further deliberation. The interim injunction is effective until further order of the court. Kilawani, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.2775 $0.3485 Australian dollars, $0.2198 euro, and 29.49 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee closed lower, cocoa and copper closed higher, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading higher, copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 229.23 points higher, the ASX 200 is trading at 80.57 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 82.78 points higher. Still to come on National EMTV News, 6 new vice ministers sworn in today. Don't go away. Welcome back. 6 cabinet vice ministers were sworn in this afternoon at Government House, with a 7th one to be sworn in at a later date due to non-availability today. Legally known as parliamentary secretaries, the new vice ministers will be serving in the areas including public service, mining, autonomous region of Bougainville affairs, and treasury. The 6 vice ministers sworn in today were Autonomous Region of Bougainville Regional MP Peter Chiamalili Jr., who will be Vice Minister assisting Prime Minister James Marape on matters relating to Bougainville affairs, Kairuku Hiri MP Peter Isoaimo to be Vice Minister Treasury, Kokopo MP Emil Tamur as Vice Minister National Planning, Rai Coast MP Peter Sapia, who will be Vice Minister for Mining, Ijivitari MP Richard Masera will be Minister assisting the Prime Minister on foreign direct investment matters, and Angoram MP Salio Waipo as Vice Minister for Public Service. Prime Minister James Marape said following the swearing-in ceremony that these parliamentary secretary positions have been vacant for some time and needed to be filled in for effective delivery under various portfolios.
I graduated from the Vice Minister's class into Minister and eventually as Prime Minister today. Vice Ministers have a very important role. These are, they occupy positions that are not new but already part of the entire structure of government we have in place, where Vice Ministers, 11 positions are provided, 4 to assist ministries, especially ministries that has heavier responsibilities, so that they are functional, they lighten the burden of the political head over those sectors in our government structure. And these fine members of parliament we have are now sworn in as Vice Ministers.
The Prime Minister said despite the onset of COVID-19 and with the 2022 national general elections just around the corner, government is still determined to maintain focus on key priority areas.
We're now facing 2 years of being in office, so tomorrow we have a cabinet. I'll be asking all ministers to finish the work that we've done in the last 2 years. Within the main focus and ambit of our government, we've taken government from what was a government of recklessness and on the run making calls and decisions. The last 2 years, I beg your pardon, we've tried our best to course the direction in which our country should be traveling at. That's why we said take back PNG. We're taking back PNG from the hands of corruption, the hands of laziness, the hands of recklessness, and trying to put them into the right direction in which our country should travel.
New Public Service Vice Minister Salio Waipo is happy to assist Public Service Minister Joe Sungi in the public sector reforms that are being undertaken. Vice Minister Waipo said there is a lot to be done under very challenging circumstances currently, but he is confident of effective service delivery.
We're going towards a 2022 election, and also COVID, we had a challenge right in front of us. I think it's a challenge to me also, but I will be working very closely with the Minister, Joe Sungi, who is the current Public Service Minister, to assist and the department going forward.
The Minister for Higher Education, Wesley Raminai, has welcomed the National Court decision to dismiss proceedings filed by the former University of Goroka's interim council members led by Professor Joseph Sukuyanum. On 19th April, Professor Sukuyanum and 9 other council members had their appointment revoked by the Department of Higher Education under Section 151 and 152 of the Higher Education Act 2014. A leave for judicial review by the National Court was filed on the 23rd of April by Professor Sukuyanum. The proceedings has now been dismissed in its entirety after the National Court found the application for judicial review did not comply with Order 16, Rule 3 of the National Court rules.
What I've actually done is I've revoked their appointment. That's exactly what I've done. See? And for me, I'd like to also welcome the court decision. I repeat this again. And what I've done, I think, as a minister responsible, it's according to the law. And I repeat, I didn't just go from nowhere or just get it from out of the blue and make those decisions. I had to make sure that I had to consult the state lawyers before making those decisions.
Trukai Sports is next. All the details after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The SP-PNG Hunters' growing injury list may get some relief as both Stanton Albert and rookie Gilmore Paul join the rest of the squad after 2 weeks in quarantine in Brisbane after flying in from PNG. Hunters coach Matthew Church commented that he is looking forward to seeing Gilmore in the Hunters setup for the first time, while Stanton, who is an experienced campaigner, provides valuable input and enthusiasm to the team.
Winners in the end, 40 points to 12. To compound matters for the SP-PNG Hunters, following their humiliating 40-12 point loss to the Brisbane Tigers, several players have picked up injuries during last weekend's match. The Hunters lost 2 players to injury, with centre Jakodi Bire, who was in fine form, coming off with a rib injury in the 72nd minute. The interchange forward, Emmanuel Waine, sustained a calf injury after the 51st minute. With the Hunters confronted with mostly minor injuries to several of its players, led to the call-up and fielding of former Tigers veteran hooker and PNG Kumul Tommy Butterfield. The 32-year-old has played with the West Panthers in the Brisbane Rugby League competition for the past 3 seasons. Butterfield took to the field for 19 minutes to give Watovo Puara Jr. some respite in his 115th appearance for the Hunters. In some positive news for the Hunters, experienced campaigner Stanton Albert and 22-year-old newcomer Gilmore Paul have ended their 2 weeks of quarantine in Brisbane after leaving PNG to join the injury-hit squad. Hunters coach Matthew Church stated that he was proud of the players who dug in when the side was down to 12, then finally 9 men. Admitting that the Hunters' poor kicking game and inability to apply any concentrated pressure was also a factor for their downfall, after the scores were locked at 12-all at half-time. Haksilovai, Chukai Sports.
That story wraps up Chukai Sports. The weather report is next. Stay tuned.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Regional weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region: Port Moresby, cloudy periods with patchy rain drizzles at times; Daru, cloudy with some showers; Kerema, cloudy with rain showers at times; Alotau, easing rain showers and thunderstorms to cloudy morning; Popondetta, few showers and possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. To the Momase region, Lae, Wewak and Vanimo, to expect easing rain showers and possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. Madang, cloudy with some showers. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, few showers and cloudy morning. Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul, showers tonight and cloudy morning. Kimbe, thundery showers and cloudy morning. Buka, cloudy with morning showers. And to the Highlands region, all centres to expect rain showers, easing, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that's the news, sports and weather for Tuesday, the 11th of May 2021. Pleasant viewing, be safe, bye for now.